Most men spend their lives trying to impress women with money, looks, or charm. But what if I told you that's not what women are truly drawn to? There are hidden psychological triggers, weaknesses even women don't consciously recognize. And when a man understands them, he doesn't have to chase. Women come to him. The problem? Most men have no idea how to spot these triggers, and even fewer know how to use them to spark deep attraction. Women, just like men, have subconscious desires, emotional vulnerabilities, and automatic responses they don't always understand or control. And these hidden cues, when understood, are the true key to lasting attraction. Yet, most men go completely in the wrong direction. They think having a luxury car, a perfect jawline, or smooth one-liners is all it takes. But what they're missing is the most powerful piece, the psychology of desire. Today, we're diving into 10 hidden female weaknesses, psychological triggers that are often invisible. But once you understand them, they will completely change the way you interact with women. The power of emotional certainty. Yes, women are emotional creatures. But that doesn't mean they're irrational or out of control. It simply means that emotions play a central role in how they make decisions, especially when it comes to relationships. One of their deepest hidden needs is the desire for emotional certainty. A woman may be drawn to passion and excitement on the surface, but deep down, she craves a sense of emotional safety, the feeling that she won't be abandoned when things get tough. This is why women are naturally drawn to men who remain emotionally composed, even when life gets chaotic. A man who's reactive, moody, or emotionally dependent quickly becomes a burden, and that signals weakness. Because here's the truth. Women want to feel safe. And that safety comes not from control or dominance, but from your ability to stay grounded, calm, and centered, no matter what. Imagine this. If she feels like she has to emotionally stabilize you, the roles reverse. Suddenly, she's the strong one, and you become the fragile one. That dynamic, it kills attraction fast. Instead, become the man who embodies stoic confidence. When she's upset, you stay calm. When something goes wrong, you don't panic or lash out. When challenges arise, you handle them with quiet strength. That emotional steadiness makes you her safe harbor, something she instinctively gravitates toward, even if she can't quite explain why. Women are drawn to what they can't fully have. There's a powerful truth about human nature, one that applies just as much in romance as it does in luxury marketing. We value what is scarce. Why? Do people pay thousands for a diamond? Or line up overnight for a limited edition sneaker? It's not always about the object itself. It's about the rarity, the exclusivity, the challenge of obtaining it. Women operate on this exact same principle when it comes to attraction. One of a woman's deepest, and often subconscious, psychological weaknesses is this. She is most attracted to what she can't quite have. The moment a man becomes too available, too eager, or too obvious in his interest, he starts to lose value in her eyes. Sure, she might enjoy the attention, she might even flirt back, but she won't chase it. Why? Because there's no mystery, no challenge, no curiosity. And attraction without curiosity fades fast. On the other hand, the man who maintains a subtle sense of distance and mystery, he flips a switch in her subconscious mind and sparks a powerful desire to close the gap. This is why women often become obsessed with men who are hard to read or seem emotionally reserved. It's not because they enjoy being ignored. Far from it. It's because the uncertainty increases perceived value. Her mind begins to wonder, what is he thinking? Does he like me? Why isn't he chasing me like the others? So, how can you use this principle to your advantage? Don't always be available. Don't drop everything the moment she calls. Let her wonder when she'll see you again. Maintain your independence. Build a life that's already full, with or without her. That doesn't mean being cold or distant for no reason. It means not making her the center of your universe. Reveal yourself slowly. Don't lay all your cards on the table. Let her discover you like a novel she can't stop reading, page by page, not all at once. Because here's the paradox. The moment a woman feels like she's fully won you, her interest starts to fade. But keep a part of yourself just slightly out of reach, and she'll keep chasing, wondering, and wanting more. The unspoken influence of voice and presence, before you say a single word, before you even make eye contact. A woman is already picking up on something deeper, your presence. A man with strong presence moves with purpose. He doesn't fidget. He doesn't rush. Every movement, every step is deliberate, like he's exactly where he's meant to be. He holds eye contact, not with aggression, but with calm confidence. His gaze doesn't dart around nervously. His posture, upright, open, grounded. When he speaks, it's slow and deliberate, as if every word matters. There's no need to rush, because he owns the moment. And then there's the voice. A deep, controlled voice, one that resonates with authority, is one of the most underrated psychological triggers of attraction. Studies have shown that men with deeper voices are often perceived as more dominant, more confident, and yes, more attractive. This isn't random, it's evolutionary. A deep voice signals high testosterone, leadership, and biological strength. Qualities that women are wired to respond to on a subconscious level. But presence goes beyond sound. It's a silent force you radiate. It's how you react to the world, with composure, not chaos. With certainty, not hesitation. By contrast, weak presence shows up in the small things. Slouched shoulders, restless hands, a shaky tone. Even if a man doesn't realize it, these subtle signals communicate insecurity. So if you want to captivate women effortlessly, don't start with what you say. Start with what you project. Master your presence. Strengthen your energy. Because when you walk into a room grounded, self-assured, and unshakable, women notice, and they're drawn to it, often before they even understand why. 4. Women can't resist a man who walks away. Want to know one of the deepest fears a woman has in relationships? It's loss. And more specifically, losing the attention of a man she truly desires. One of the most powerful hidden weaknesses women have is their emotional response to loss or distance. And yet, most men handle this completely backwards. When a woman starts pulling away, what do most guys do? They chase, plead, over-explain, try to fix things. But here's what that tells her: he needs me more than I need him. And the moment she senses that imbalance, her attraction starts to die. On the other hand, a man who walks away without hesitation, a man who doesn't flinch when she pulls back, he communicates something far more powerful than words ever could. I'm not desperate for you. I have options. My value doesn't depend on your validation. And that drives women crazy. It's not about manipulation. It's about self-respect. When a woman knows that you're willing to walk away if she disrespects you, plays games, or withdraws affection, she automatically values you more. Why? Because strength is attractive, and detachment from outcome is magnetic. The rule is simple: be willing to walk away, and you'll never have to chase. A man with a mission Is her kryptonite want to know the ultimate secret? A woman's biggest weakness isn't your looks, your money, or even your charm. It's your purpose. A man on a mission, a man with a clear vision, a passion, or a goal bigger than himself, becomes irresistibly magnetic. Why? Because purpose breeds focus, discipline, and independence. These are qualities women crave in a partner, whether they realize it or not. Men who are building something, launching a business, mastering a skill, chasing a dream, exude a different kind of energy. They're not waiting around for validation. They're not looking to be completed. They are already full, and that's the mistake most men make. They make the woman their mission. They put her at the center of their world. They drop everything for her. They make her the goal, instead of letting her be part of the journey. Ironically, this turns her off, because deep down, a woman doesn't want to be your mission. She wants to be with a man who's already on one. The paradox of controlled vulnerability. Here's a truth most men miss entirely. Vulnerability is attractive, but only when it's done with strength. There's a delicate balance here, and it's where many men fall hard. Show too much vulnerability too soon, and a woman sees weakness. Show too little, and she sees a cold, emotionally unavailable man she can't connect with. So what's the sweet spot? Women are deeply drawn to men who understand this paradox, who can be emotionally open, but on their own terms, not from a place of need, not to be validated, but as a conscious act of strength. Many men mistakenly believe that women want them to pour out their feelings constantly, to be endlessly expressive, to share every emotional detail. That's simply not true. Yes, women want emotional connection. They crave depth. But they are repelled by men who overshare, complain, or constantly seek reassurance. That doesn't make her feel close. It makes her feel like she's carrying your emotional baggage. The real power lies in selective vulnerability. You don't suppress your emotions, you acknowledge them. You don't hide your struggles, but you share them after you face them, not while you're still drowning in them. You don't dump your entire past on her in one conversation. You let her discover your world slowly, as trust builds. Think of your emotions like a deep ocean, powerful, layered, and profound. Visible on the surface, but never wild or overwhelming. That's the kind of emotional depth that makes women lean in, not pull away. A man who opens up without losing his composure creates a magnetic dynamic. He lets her feel special because he's choosing to reveal a deeper part of himself, but never in a way that burdens her. Contrast that with the man who vents too early, spirals into emotional neediness, or constantly asks, "Do you still love me?" That energy repels. It signals instability, and it turns attraction into obligation. Controlled vulnerability, on the other hand, that's irresistible. Because when a man has the courage to be real, and the composure to stay grounded while doing it, he becomes unforgettable. Women are wired to test your strength. Here's something most men never realize, and often misinterpret. Women will test you, repeatedly, and often without even realizing they're doing it. These aren't just games. They're not cruelty or manipulation. They are instinctive filters, a woman's subconscious way of asking, "Can I trust this man's strength?" Sometimes she'll challenge your opinion just to see if you back down. She might create small, emotional conflicts to watch how you react. She might pull away, just a little, to see if you'll crumble or stand firm. These are not conscious attacks. They're tests of emotional leadership. If she sees that you're easily rattled, reactive, or desperate for her approval, her respect begins to fade. And when respect fades, attraction quickly follows. But if you pass her tests, you become the man she can't replace. So what's the key? Never react emotionally. Stay calm. Stay grounded. Let her feel your certainty, not your defensiveness. If she pushes, don't push back. Respond with strength, not ego. If she withdraws, don't chase. Let her return when she's ready. Your calmness is your power. Because here's the secret. Women only test men they're attracted to. If she's testing you, it means she sees potential, and she's searching for proof of strength. Just don't fail the test. 8. Confidence in the face of rejection is irresistible. Here's one of the greatest fears most men share: rejection. But what separates the average from the exceptional is not whether rejection happens. It's how he handles it. Most men shrink. They get nervous, defensive, or start questioning their worth the moment a woman shows disinterest. But a select few, they embrace rejection, and it makes them magnetic. You see, women are weak for men who can take rejection like it's nothing. Not because they're arrogant, not because they don't care at all, but because they've reached a level of self-worth that isn't shaken by one person's opinion. When a man gets turned down and shrugs it off with a smile, maybe even turns it into a light-hearted joke, he communicates something deeply powerful. I know my value, and if it's not for you, that's okay. Let's compare two responses. A desperate man hears no and starts chasing, asking what he did wrong, trying to win her back. That's unattractive. A confident man hears no and says, "No worries, your loss. Have a great day." He smiles, walks away, and doesn't look back. That man, unstoppable, because rejection itself doesn't hurt. What really hurts is the attachment to needing approval. When you let go of the fear of being rejected, when you treat it like part of the game, like a moment rather than a personal failure, you shift your energy completely. Women feel that shift. They sense your inner security, your detachment from outcome, and it draws them in. Why? Because a man who isn't fazed by rejection is a man who doesn't chase validation, and that's rare. The key isn't to avoid rejection. It's to face it with humor, calm, and composure. And when you do, you'll start to notice something strange. The more confidently you handle rejection, the less often it happens. Because confidence is magnetic, and rejection has no power over a man who's already whole. Women obsess over men who are hard to read. Now let's talk about mystery, and why it's one of the most potent psychological triggers for women. If a woman always knows exactly how you feel, exactly what you're thinking, and exactly where she stands, she stops wondering. And the moment she stops wondering, she stops chasing. Certainty kills curiosity. Women are naturally drawn to men who maintain a layer of mystery, not because they enjoy confusion, but because they're emotionally wired to engage with what they're still trying to figure out. This doesn't mean playing manipulative games or being emotionally unavailable. It means mastering the art of subtlety. Let her feel that you're interested, but not obsessed. Be open, but not a book she can finish in one sitting. Let her guess a little. Keep her asking questions like, what's he thinking? Does he feel the same way? Why isn't he reacting like everyone else? Because once a woman becomes emotionally invested in figuring you out, she becomes emotionally hooked. This doesn't mean you withhold affection or play cold. It means you move with intention. You reveal pieces of yourself slowly. You make her earn access to the deeper layers of who you are. The man who is too easy to read gets forgotten. The man who keeps her mentally engaged stays unforgettable. Women obsess over men who are unpredictable. If a man becomes too predictable, the excitement disappears, and with it, so does the attraction. Here's how you know a guy is too easy to read. He always replies immediately to her texts. He's overly expressive about his feelings far too soon. He constantly seeks her approval and reassurance. While his intentions may be genuine, his behavior removes all challenge. And without challenge, there's no spark. On the other hand, a high-value man understands the power of pacing and emotional control. He doesn't withhold affection, but he also doesn't rush to give everything away. He chooses what to share and when to share it. He responds at his own pace, not out of insecurity, but out of intentionality. He holds an air of calm unpredictability, and that, more than anything, keeps her hooked. Because here's the truth. Curiosity fuels desire. If she always knows what's coming next, if she can read every move, every message, every emotional cue, the chase is over. But if she finds herself wondering, what's he thinking? Why hasn't he texted yet? What is it about him I can't figure out? Then you've captured her imagination, and that's where real obsession begins. The man who can engage a woman's mind is the man she can't stop thinking. About 10. A man who controls his desires. Controls everything. Now we've reached the final, and arguably most powerful, hidden weakness women have. Women cannot resist a man who is in control of himself. Most men, let's be honest, are ruled by their desires. They chase women. They seek validation. They let lust drive their decisions, often without thinking. But a high-value man, he flips the script. Instead of being ruled by desire, he rules over it. He chooses when and how to engage. He's not desperate for attention, intimacy, or approval. He has standards, discipline, and focus. He doesn't let short-term pleasure distract him from long-term purpose, and that level of self-control. It's magnetic. The moment a man stops chasing women mindlessly, something incredible happens. Women start chasing him. Why? Because self-restraint is strength. Because walking away signals abundance. Because a man who says no to games, to drama, to temptation, proves he has control over himself. And that makes him rare. A man who puts his mission before his urges, who doesn't flinch under temptation, who can walk away when something doesn't align with his standards. That's the man women crave on a deep, primal level, because he doesn't need women to feel whole, but his presence makes them want to be part of his world. In the end, attraction isn't about tricks. It's about understanding human psychology, and more importantly, mastering yourself. Women are drawn to men who embody strength, purpose, self-respect. Cultivate these qualities, and women won't just want you. They'll feel they need you. If you found value in this message, subscribe to Peaceful Stoic Habits, where we break down the hidden forces of attraction, mindset, and masculine power. Until next time, stay strong, stay grounded, and never chase